Hello everyone, welcome back to Multiversus. Now today we're going to be doing another character guide, and this one's actually going to be focused on Harley Quinn. She's not someone I've played too much of in the game, but I've kind of started to fiddle around with, and she's actually really fun. Now, to my knowledge, she is quite a top tier character. To my knowledge, I could be wrong on that, guys, so forgive me if I am. But pretty much we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go through her moveset, recommended perks, builds, whatnot. But again, okay, the game appears to be pretty open with how you want to play, so feel free to experiment, find what works for you. Now, first off, we'll pull up her move list. Alright. Well, I don't even need her move list. Why am I pulling it up? Okay, her neutral square is she swings a mallet that is chargeable. And as you can see, at full charge, it does a hefty, 10 damage if you get the bounce. But yeah, dude, honestly, decent amount of damage, okay? Her side light on the ground, she has I think a 4 or 5 hit combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4 hit combo. Now, beware, guys. Apparently, the enemy can dodge out of the combo in between the first and second hit if they're standing a bit further away, I believe. Now, what I like to do, guys, okay, is I kind of try, as you know, stand a little bit back, so that way you guaranteed to hit everything. It makes life really, really easy, because otherwise they can, I'm fairly certain, dodge out of the combo if they're quick enough. But anyway, her up light on the ground is she kind of swings her bat, and it's actually a really, really good KO move. It launches them really far if you fully charge it. On its own, it's alright, but what you really want is you want to try hit it with the full charge so you get that second hit. That second hit is the real punchline of the attack. It sends enemies flying, hits hard. It's really the bread and butter of that attack. Her down light on the ground is if you charge it, the longer you charge it, the further she slides. As you can imagine, I'm sure this will be very, very useful in certain situations. As you can see, at full charge, she slides quite a big distance. So, I mean, it could be used for, movement as well as attacks. She goes quite a big distance. Quite a big distance. Now, her neutral light in the air is she does like an overhand mallet swing. Now, this is a knockdown move, as I'm sure you can see. So it's useful for if you're edge guarding. Apart from that, if you're playing on a stage like Finn and Jake's Treehouse, where there's a kind of a stage below or a platform below, and you're kind of going between them two, it's also very useful in a situation like that. Her side light in the air is she kind of does a double kick, and it's a relatively solid move in my opinion. It doesn't launch them very far, but if you're on the ground, it combos very, very well. Now, I forgot to mention this before with her slide. If you press the light attack button again, she will do a follow-up kick that sends the enemy flying. It's not as powerful as her up light, but it's still, it's relatively decent, in my opinion. And look, more damage is more damage, alright? Now, okay, her down light in the air is she fires kind of like a punch, a gun type thing. I think it's got like a boxing glove on one side of it. I can't remember what it's called though. Now, you cannot move with this. You cannot change the direction you're firing. However, there is a signature perk for Harley Quinn you can get that will let you change the direction you were shooting with it. Only when you are on the down light. In the air, sorry, that's what I meant to say. Only when you're on the down light in the air you can change direction with it. But you have to have her perk set for it, obviously. Now, that would, in my opinion, be quite helpful. It'd be something similar to Jake's side light in the air, where you can change the direction of your punch. Similar in this scenario, you can change the direction of the boxing glove being shot. Her up light in the air is she shoots like a confetti gun. Now, confetti is really good for Harley Quinn. It actually affects, if I could hit it, it actually affects one of her Yeah, look, I give up. It affects one of her passives. If she inflicts confetti, and then she hits 5 knockback attacks on an enemy, she puts Ignite on. Now, Ignite is like a damage over time effect. Jake does it with his down skateboard attack. I'm pretty sure the Iron Giant can apply Ignite as well. Several characters can apply Ignite. It's decent in my opinion. I mean, damage is damage, regardless of how it is. And if you're putting damage without having to go too far out of your way in the first place, I mean, why wouldn't you do it? She has, I think, 3 attacks that can put confetti on. Her up light in the air is one of them. Obviously, you have to be somewhat precise with the aiming for it. But if you manage to hit it, and then you manage to hit her side light combo on the ground, you'll have yourself an easy Ignite. Because knocking on the ground, if they get knocked back, counts as a knockback attack to set up her Ignite, which is really, really helpful. Because technically, if you use a knockback attack, you only really need 4 hits instead of 5. Now, her neutral special attack is she whips out this teddy thing, and you can throw it. And it latches onto enemy or ally, and as you can see, it's got a timer around it that explodes when the timer runs out, and that puts on Ignite as well. As you can see, it puts on the Ignite. Obviously, you hit with Ignite, and it builds up the stacks until Ignite actively triggers. Now, you can activate this prematurely by pressing the signature attack button again. And it also works well as it can latch onto allies. So if you're in the, if you're doing 2v2s and you throw it and it happens to land on an ally, if the ally runs in and is in the middle of attacking the enemy, you can pop it, get some extra damage in, possibly even a cheeky combo. Her side light, they are both the same no matter which direction you go. However, it's a little bit tricky. If you aim right, she will dodge right and attack left. So it's not overly it's not complicated, but a lot of people, myself included, would most likely expect if you're pointing right for her to attack right instead of dodge right. Now, that's pretty useful in my opinion. It's just a little bit wonky, and it might take a little bit of getting used to with the direction of which way you've got to go and which way you have to actually point. So that's her side special attack on the ground. It's decent as it gives her a bit of clearance and fires an attack for security, so it's quite useful in my opinion. Her up special on the ground is she swings her baseball bat. Now this is another good KO move that she's got. Harley Quinn has a couple decent good KO moves, and she can combo that straight away. It's honestly unlikely you're going to hit it. I'll show you guys here. We'll turn on the dodge for the bot, and we'll see if you can dodge out of it. Let me just get a little bit closer to him. 1, 2, so you can dodge out of it, but still, if you manage to catch someone slacking, you never know, you might be able to get a second cheeky little hit in. If they're low, possibly even KO them. See, and there's every possibility that if they're at a bit of a higher damage meter, they could dodge into your attack in the first place anyway, if they get launched back further from being and having higher damage. Now, her down special on the ground is she kind of puts down this toy box thing. And what this does is it triggers Ignite, I believe. Yeah, so it triggers Ignite, the same as her other attack, which is again more damage, so why wouldn't you take it? Now, her Ignite lasts for a lot longer than Jake's does. Jake's lasts for about 1 second, I think, or 1 or 2 ticks of damage. Harley Quinn's lasts for a bit longer, which is very good in my opinion. More damage, as I say, is more damage. Take it while you can get it, especially if you don't really have to work too hard for it. She can place this in the air, which I'll get to now, her aerial special attacks. She can place, her down signature in the air is she places the jukebox or whatever the friggin' hell it's called, I forget what it's called. She places it down again. And so that's the same attack, she'll just deploy it in the air. Same thing, if the opponent touches it, it will trigger. Now, as you guys can see, you can press X on it, or whatever your jump button is if you're playing PC, I assume spacebar. You can press your jump button on it, and it will reset your jump counter if it's on the air or, in the air or on the ground. It resets your jump counter, which can be particularly useful if you get knocked off the stage, you're a bit high on damage, and you have to try get back, you could pop that attack and then reset your jumps. So, very, very helpful for support as well as putting on Ignite. So dealing damage and support for Harley Quinn herself, very, very good. Her side special in the air is the exact same as well. She just dashes to whatever side you point to and shoots in the opposite direction. She does fall down a little bit, but this is a good cover attack as well if you need to dash quickly to get back on stage. Let's say you've been knocked over on the left-hand side of the stage and you're trying to get back. You could point right, jump over, and if you're a little bit higher up, you might even be able to hit someone punishing you or attempting to punish you. You never know. You might be able to. There's every possibility it could work. Her up special in the air is the exact same as well. She just swings her bat up. It's pretty useful in my opinion, especially because, as you guys saw, it's a relatively, it's not overly powerful. It's not as powerful as her up light, but it's still a relatively powerful attack, especially because you can do it twice. So, in my opinion, it's a pretty strong attack, and it's good that it doesn't really change in my opinion. Now, as you can see, her neutral signature attack is the exact same. All of her attacks in the air are the same. And yeah, honestly, that's it. Let me see if there's anything I'm missing. She does have a passive skill. I'll show you guys her passive skill. Confetti time. Applying confetti to enemies, Harley and her allies must knock back the victim multiple times to apply ignited to them. Now, it is extremely worth noting that Harley Quinn is a glass cannon, the same as Finn and I think as Arya, due to her being an assassin. This means that she takes 14% more damage from anything. So she is going to be a bit squishier. You have to be aware of that. So make sure you guys are aware of that. She's going to be a bit squishier. But honestly, the amount of damage she puts out and the movement she has as well, you'll get hit. But you should, for the most part, be able to dodge relatively easily and not get punished because of that. She moves around pretty easily in my opinion as someone compared to Finn. Finn has a couple movement abilities, same as Arya, but Harley Quinn probably has, she doesn't move as fast or as far as the other two, but she has more movement in my opinion, I would say. Because she can actively spam hers because they don't have a cooldown, whereas Finn and Arya's abilities do for their movement. Now, putting confetti on, I think she has 3 attacks that can put confetti on. She has her heads up, her overhead swing while in the air. Actually, did I do that one in the air? I think I did, yeah. Okay, so that one puts confetti on. What other attack puts confetti on? I think her stuffy bat. So her neutral triangle puts confetti on as well. And then her Jack in the Box, that's what it's called. My bad, guys. But her Jack in the Box also puts confetti on. So there's lots of different ways to do damage with her. Now, in my opinion, I haven't really touched, I've used her, but not overly too much. Now, there's a couple combo routes I've worked out. Again, keep in mind, this is very superficial. I haven't really extensively played with Harley Quinn, so I'm sure a bunch of people out there will have more advanced combos for you to know. But as I always say, in my opinion, it's quite hard to combo in Multiversus in general, just because it's none of the abilities of anyone really chain together unless it's the same attack, like her 4-hit combo side light. Now, however, what I have worked out with Harley Quinn is when they are extremely, extremely low on damage, you can usually get 1 or 2 hits in of her side attack, do your down slide, and then chain into something else. I'll show you guys what I mean. We'll see if I can do it. And you can chain into her other kick. Now, it's not overly difficult to do, and it's a bit more damage than you might normally get. Plus, it kind of mixes them up a little bit instead of going for the normal route. Makes you feel a bit cooler if you're doing a cool combo. But again, I haven't really got any combos for her, so feel free to experiment, see what you guys can work out, what works for you. Now, as for perks, Harley is, at least for me, the first character I've seen with 3 unique perks, 3 signature perks. Now, smooth moves. Her side signature attack, she can, as you guys can read there, it counts as a dodge, which is pretty powerful in my opinion. It adds to the fact that you can use it as support move to get back to the stage, and punish if someone's trying to KO you. And they can't even hit you because it counts as a dodge. You just have to time it well, obviously, but there's some incredible potential there. Glove control is the one I told you guys about earlier, where she can aim the glove she's firing. It's not insane, in my opinion, from what I've seen, but it is still extremely useful instead of firing just straight down and having to be pinpoint accurate with your attack. Confetti Explosion, instead of igniting at max stacks, Harley's Confetti debuff creates a large explosion launching enemies upward. I have seen someone use this before, and in my opinion, it is the worst of her 3 perks. The reason I say this is because you'd think that the explosion would be powerful. From what I saw, it's not overly powerful, so you're probably much better off rocking any of the 2 other perks. If you're looking for a bit more damage, go for it. But personally, I would rather have the damage from her ignite rather than a lackluster explosion of damage. So if you're looking for a bit more control with one of your attacks, go with this one. If you're looking to play a bit safer, go with smooth moves. That's what I would say. Perks. I believe Harley is a horizontal hero. I cannot remember. Let me find her. She's a vertical hero. So that means, obviously, where is the vertical damage attack? The vertical is going to be obviously quite well and work well for her, purely because she's a vertical hero, so a lot of her attacks are going to launch enemies upward. So this is a very good perk for her, in my opinion. And honestly, you could also rock hit them while they're down. The reason is for this is because she puts on ignite a lot with a lot of her attacks through her confetti. So if you're constantly applying ignite, even for the short period that they are ignited, that's an extra bit of damage that your whole team's going to be doing. As I say, extra damage is extra damage. You just have to work out whether you want to rock hit them while they're down, up and a slay, or some other variation of perks. Ones where you might, try be a bit tankier. Ones where you might want a bit more utility. Honestly, in my opinion, she does not need the triple jump. As I said before, with her Jack in the Box attack, she can reset her jumps. So you don't really need an extra jump. Take it if you want it, if you want that extra security. But in my opinion, this is a bit unnecessary. You don't really need it. You're better off rocking another perk. I wouldn't recommend Last Stand for Harley Quinn, purely because of the fact that she is an assassin, which means she's a lot squishier than other characters in the game. Which means, typically, you're getting up to 100 damage. You're going to get in really, really easily. You're getting up there in the KO territory, right? So you ideally aren't going to get the most out of this Last Stand ability. So I would advise against using it. But again, you guys do you. I would take, honestly, with her, maybe some Tasmanian trigonometry. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I would purely rock, most likely, 2 offensive perks. I would rock up and a slay, hit them while they're down. And I would probably go with Kryptonian Skin just to make her a tiny bit tankier. Instead of being 14% extra damage she's going to take, she's only going to take 10%. It's not a lot, but it might be the difference between a hit KOing or not. Those are the perks I would rock. I would personally go Kryptonian Skin, hit them while they're down, and up and a slay. And depending on what you're trying to do, smooth moves for a little bit more security, glove control if you're a bit more of a skilled player, looking to do more damage actively instead, and you're comfortable enough that you don't really need an extra dodge, pretty much. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's just a little bit of a Harley Quinn guide. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is my opinion. I don't know a whole lot about Harley Quinn, so feel free to experiment on your own, find out what works for you. This is just my recommendations. I'm by no means a pro at the game or Harley Quinn, so feel free to make your own judgments as well. But this is just my little guide. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in again, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.